Hello and welcome. 63 days until I run the entire length of Germany, running 61 marathons in 61 days, hoping to raise 61,000 euro for charity. What you're watching now is a self-documentation, a self-documentary series, one could call it, where for the next 63 days, every single day, I will record a conversation with myself, held like this, which will remain unedited, uncut, and honest. That's the goal. I do this because I'm completely convinced that I can make something of myself, and I really want to. Putting myself in a situation in which I am a complete novice is difficult. I'm very new to all of this. I have never spoken into a camera before. But I'll figure it out. I suppose to anyone watching, questions might arise quite quickly. Why 61 marathons? How did the edema come about? Yada, yada, yada. The nature of this documentary series is going to be an introspective one. So although I am uploading these videos and making them available for you to consume and digest and interact with, I'm going to do my best to distance myself from the knowledge that someone else is on the other side of that lens. In fact, though perhaps egoistical, I want to do this only for myself. So let's keep the first video short and just dive right into it. I'm going to discuss something that's been on my mind lately, specifically yesterday, and that I've journaled about. I think that's going to be the nature of these conversations. I think I'm just going to take one thing that I'm working through emotionally and spiritually right now and discuss it. This documentation series is going to be one of a more so spiritual focus. So, something that I've learned and something that's been a highlight of preparing for this big run. Whenever you declare yourself to be something, everything unlike it is immediately drawn into your immediate environment, kind of like a magnet. The very second you say, you declare yourself to the outside world to be something, everything unlike it is immediately drawn to you. I think that's in a way how the universe works. There's a beautiful sentence I stumbled upon a while ago that I've written down yesterday again. In the absence of that which you are not, that which you are is not. It's complicated and it's not exactly, doesn't roll off the tongue smoothly, but it's very, very valuable. Say, for example, you declare yourself to be someone who is disciplined, someone who is hardworking, someone who is passionately dedicated to a goal or a cause. I think the conversation that almost inevitably happens between you as a spiritual being and the universe is one of, okay, I hear you. Let me just find out for myself. So I announced this big run officially on the internet on the 1st of December of 2023. In late December, I moved to Switzerland for 3 months, primarily to work there and make some money, but also to train. I thought the Swiss Alps in the winter, even in snow, are the ideal environment to build a strong man. I left Germany for Switzerland with the intention of being very disciplined, very hardworking, and completely and entirely dedicated to this cause. And what happened? I found myself immediately surrounded by people who were lazy, lacked ambition and passion and drive, were unhappy with their life circumstances, were unhappy with themselves, spent their free time smoking weed and drinking alcohol quite excessively. And though I don't put judgments on that individually, you're a grown person, you're a grown individual, do as you wish. There were parts of me that thought it was the worst environment to be in. Think of it this way. Working hours were from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. That's about 10 hours a day. I would get up around 5:30, eat breakfast, run to work, often in the snow, in the rain, in the cold. It was a 4-kilometer run. I would then spend the 10 hours at work doing a push-up tally. For every hour spent at work, I would do a specific amount of push-ups. In late December, I did 20. In January, I did 30. In February, I did 40. And in March, I did 50 push-ups for every hour spent at work. After work, I run home 4 kilometers. I get home, I eat, and then I either go for a long run or do some personal training, strength, mobility, whatever. My days were completely packed. I had no social interactions with friends or family. I spent my evenings and my free time writing as much as I could, trying to be introspective, trying to tend to this man that I'm creating. And everyone around me was the polar opposite of what I announced myself to be when I moved to Switzerland. And here's the value in that lesson, in the sentence, in the absence of that which you are not, that which you are is not. Here is the lesson I extracted from this. If the only way for you to be truly disciplined, hardworking, and dedicated to what you are doing, if the only way for those things to happen is for you to have ideal circumstances, you are not those things. If they are to be an integral part of who you are, if I want Alexander Piotr Lingauer to be, if I want to be a hardworking and dedicated man, I must be a hardworking and dedicated man when I'm getting little sleep, when I'm around the wrong people, when the odds are stacked against me. It's kind of how this works. I think this law of the universe, that the second you declare yourself to be something, the universe answers with I hear what you're saying, let me just check for myself, is actually a gift. For me, Switzerland was a gift. It was difficult. It was very fucking difficult. But very beneficial. I had in front of me the opportunity to prove to myself that I am what I want to be, even though the conditions are shit. I did that to the best of my ability. I failed here and there, obviously. But that's part of the learning process. That's just how it goes. But to reframe and learn perhaps that whatever circumstance you are in right now, if your circumstance right now is the polar opposite of what you actually want to be experiencing, consider this a blessing. Consider for a moment that perhaps for you to get to where you want to get, you are simply not at that level yet. And so you must preoccupy yourself with where you are right now, master these circumstances. Because quite frankly, if what you want of life right now is more than what you have, but you can't handle what you have no right to receive more. You have no business receiving more. You should have no interest receiving more. If you can't handle your current load of life, you won't be able to handle a better life. Because inevitably, I think, a better life comes with more responsibilities. At least in my case. You know, I can tell you that I envision myself to one day be a father of healthy children and a husband to a good and caring and strong wife, and a business owner and writer and all those things. Right now I'm 25, I live in a construction site with a mattress on the floor and books. I have nothing going for me in life, really. If I can't handle these circumstances, there's absolutely no way in heaven that I will be able to handle a family, a relationship to a woman, a marriage. So, rather than drown in despair that where you are right now is too much for you, realize you are given the perfect opportunity to master your workload right now. And you can. Frankly, I won't tolerate the mentality of you can't. You know, I've seen some things in my life. I've endured some adversity. But if you zoom out a little and take into consideration how much deeply horrific sorrow and despair and pain human beings have went through in their life, in the span of our existence, what our species has endured, you're going to be able to handle your fucking TikTok addiction. You're going to be able to handle your boss. You're going to be able to handle that job you don't like. Introduce into your life a little more belief in the human being. We are the most passionate, the most powerful, the most mystical creation on this planet. I think we're pretty fucking amazing. So, if, like me, you want to develop, you want to make something more of yourself, you want to grow, look at life this way. Where you are right now is a level to be mastered. Where you want to go, as admirable as that pursuit may be, take into consideration, you have no business thinking of being up here if you can't handle down here. So figure out a way to handle whatever it is that you have down here going on. Whatever your life looks like right now, figuring it out. I'm going to figure out my circumstance. I know I am. For the first time in my life, I feel like I'm actually acting upon my dreams and visions. It's a slow process, but we're getting there. Moving forward, remember, the second you declare yourself to be anything, don't be surprised if what you find yourself surrounded by is the exact opposite of what you want to be. That should not discourage you. It's a good fucking sign. I'm going to cut it here. Yeah, I'm going to cut it here. To anyone who came and watched, thank you very much. Tomorrow's a new day. Let's win tomorrow. I'll see you for episode 2 tomorrow night. Thank you and much love.